Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope so. Here we go again. Welcome to Late and Live. And I think tonight I was actually on time. Look, I want this recorded as proof to say that Mr. Duncan arrived on time. I was actually here at 10 o'clock. I actually started the broadcast at 10 o'clock. So I was here on time. And if anyone says the opposite, I will get ever so angry. So it is Wednesday night. Every week we are late and live. Thank you for joining me. I was just reading this leaflet. Here is a leaflet that came through my door the other day. This is something you really want to see first thing in the morning. When you wake up first thing in the morning, the first thing you want to see is something like this. It says, pre-arrange your funeral. Thanks a lot. So it's a company that's offering their services to plan anyone's funeral. In this case, it's mine. Thank you very much to the Shropshire Funeral Plan for really cheering me up yesterday when I picked my mail up from my doormat. Look at that. Plan your funeral. I'm not arranging my funeral just yet. It's a little bit too soon, to be honest. So here we go. How are you? How are you doing? How has your week been so far? Has it been a good week? I really hope so. Did you see me yesterday, by the way? I was outside yesterday doing a live stream in the garden because we had such a beautiful day yesterday. It was glorious. It was a glorious day. Beautiful. It really did feel like spring yesterday. So I got very excited. I got so excited, in fact, I decided to do a live stream. So I did it yesterday in the garden. If you missed it, don't worry. It is available right here on my YouTube channel, just in case you didn't see it. So shall we have a look at the live chat first of all, because I know that lots of people get very impatient when they are waiting for me on the live chat. So just give me a moment. Let's just see what's going on here. Dooby-dooby-doo. Right, come on YouTube. Please make the live chat work. I would be ever so grateful. So here we go. Let's have a look. What's going on here? Come on YouTube. Show me the goods. Ah, there we go. Yes. Oh, yes, that's it. I can see myself. I'm always very happy when I can see myself. So, on the live chat, we have lots of people tonight. Oh, hello to Obaidullah. Also, Bent Masria. Hello, Bent Masria. And also to Jersivan Oliveira. Hello to you as well. You are first tonight on the live chat, all of you guys. Hello, Mr. Duncan. It's so sad to lose Professor Stephen Hawking. Yes, it's very sad news this morning. I woke up to, as many people did, to the very sad news that Professor Stephen Hawking died in the early hours of this morning, and many people were offering their tributes. I suppose not everyone will be familiar with his work, but he was a guy who studied the cosmos. He asked all of the big questions. He was never afraid to put his opinion across. He was intrigued by the universe. He was equally intrigued by how we got here, where it all came from. So he was a guy who liked to look at the beginnings of not only mankind, but also the universe itself. So yes, very sad news this morning. Professor Stephen Hawking, there we go. I will put his name up just to allow me to make my little tribute. So yes, very sad news. A guy who studied black holes for many years and also talked about the way in which the universe is changing and why it is changing. And as I mentioned, just the biggest question of all, where did it all come from? There are thunderbolts and lightning at the moment in Buenos Aires. Wow, Belarusia, it sounds like you are having some very dramatic weather there at the moment. I'm being distracted tonight because there are some ladybirds flying around my studio. So if I seem a little distracted now and again, it's because there are lots of tiny ladybirds. I don't know where they've come from, but they're everywhere. The house is full of ladybirds. Mr. Duncan, how are you? Sakarudin, I am okay, thank you very much, not too bad. Yesterday I had such a lovely time. It was so nice yesterday I was able to sit outside and eat some food. Now that is always a good sign. So when you can actually go outside and eat food in the garden, you know that the weather is getting better. How is it going, Gabrielle? It is going not too bad, thank you very much. Abhitha Akalanka says, how are you? What's up, Mr. Duncan? What's up? Nothing. I feel great. I'm really happy to be here. Hello, Mr. Duncan. When will you plan your funeral? Well, not just yet. I'm not planning on going anywhere just yet. Thank you, Swan, for that. Hi, Mr. Duncan. How are you? Moji F. I'm okay. Thank you very much. And here we go again. It's another live stream, and it is late and live. Some people have asked, Mr. Duncan, why do you do this late and live stream? The reason why I do it is to allow other people in other parts of the world, in different time zones, to have a chance to join in with my live streams. So that's the reason why this particular live stream is late. As you can see, it is just coming up to 10 minutes past 10 at night. All of my neighbours are now asleep in their beds. But here I am, standing here in my studio, talking to the world on YouTube. Hello from Ankara, Tijen. Hello, Tijen. Thank you very much. And thanks also for your email. I read your email tonight. I haven't had time to read all of it, but I have read your email, and thank you very much for your lovely, kind words. I will mention more about that. I will talk about that in greater detail on Sunday. Yes, I'm here on Sunday as well. You can catch me every Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. I've just joined you, Mr. Duncan, and I follow you wherever you are. Thank you, Mohammed Chekari. You are welcome, no problem. I'm so happy and quite touched, quite moved, in fact, to see so many people coming back to join me on my live chats. So I really do appreciate it. Rajad says, I like your lessons so much. I am in Syria. In my country, everyone likes you so much. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to hear that. Abhitha. That ladybird is really annoying me. Could you please go and fly somewhere else? It's very distracting. Don't worry, all the times ladies do the same thing. Even ladybirds, they are a disaster. Yes, ladybirds look very pretty and they are so elegant, but they can be a pain in the neck sometimes. They can be a real pain in the neck. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I'm watching you from Barcelona. You are a great teacher. It's always nice to see you. And Mr. Steve. Yes, Mr. Steve. He will be live tonight. At the moment, I don't know when. I'm hoping in a few moments he will be here live. It's just after 10 past 10. So I think Mr. Steve will be back in around about 20 minutes. So I'm hoping Mr. Steve will be here soon. T-Jen says, we love you, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan. I can't even say my own name. Hope Star is here. Thank you very much again. I hope you aren't affected by the nerve agent. Thank you, Aradas, for that. No, I'm okay, thank you very much. Although, this is how I normally act. Most people think there's something wrong with me anyway. Hi, Mr. Duncan from Humble. Hello, Humble. I've never seen you here before. Is it your first time on the live chat? If it is, say hello. Larif, Mr. Duncan, what is your preference? Chelsea or Arsenal? Can I just say neither? Neither. I don't follow football, to be honest. We don't know the time of our funeral and everything. Oh, yes, okay then. Thank you, Mohammed, for that. Read my message, Mr. Duncan. Horatio, please read my message. Horatio, I am reading your message right now. Hazeth says, yes, I am very sad for Stephen Hawking. He was a very good example of how to live your life, and we should be happy for his legacy. Yes, he allowed us all to open our minds and explore the universe. We are so small. Have you noticed that? Have you ever seen a photograph of the Earth taken from another planet? And the Earth is so tiny. It's just like a little tiny speck of dust. And we are all living on that tiny speck of dust. We are so tiny. We are so small. I am not a stranger. I am in Korea and it is after 7 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, Humble. Thank you very much. And a big hello to Korea. Not many people talking about Korea at the moment because most people are talking about Russia. For various reasons. It seems as if we've all forgotten about North Korea. Most people at the moment are talking about Russia. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I'm always here. I like to hear you. Stefano. Hello, Stefano. I haven't seen you for a while. Spring has definitely come, says Mika Ode, because the Japanese apricot blossoms are now in full bloom. And of course you have the cherry blossom festival in Japan. I have just one cherry blossom tree in my garden. And every year I get very excited when the cherry blossoms come out. But the problem is they only last for a very short time. So as soon as the weather changes, if it gets cold suddenly, or if the temperature drops suddenly, all of the lovely cherry blossom falls off. So yes, I love the cherry blossom as well. I love it when it all comes out. It looks amazing. But sadly, my garden doesn't look quite as impressive as the cherry blossom in Japan. I know it's a very big time of the year. Nice to see you, Mr. Duncan. Squinternet. Hello, Squinternet. I love your name, by the way. Hello, Mr. Duncan. It's me, Peter from Brazil, the police one. Hello, Shira Blade, and hello to Peter, to give you your proper name. Mr. Duncan, hello from London. Hello. It's Mr. Duncan. Oh, he's in London. Hello, Mr. Duncan from London. I just wonder why you are not talking about my favourite programme, Come Dine With Me. Julia, do you watch that? I used to watch it many years ago. I used to watch Come Dine With Me. It's a kind of competition where people make meals for each other and then they all have to give each other points on how good the meal was. So yes, I used to watch it, but I don't watch it anymore. I don't really watch much television these days, to be honest, because I spend most of my time here on YouTube. I don't have much time, really, to watch TV. Daniela, hello, I've never been on this channel. Where do you live, Mr. Duncan? Hello, Daniela. Daniela Midia. I live in a lovely little place called Much Wenlock, which is in England. And that is where I am broadcasting live to you now. I'm broadcasting to you live from England. I will do my best to talk about William Shakespeare. I will unleash my skills. Thank you, Mohammed, for that. Yes, here in the UK, it is Shakespeare Week. Every year, all of the schools around the UK, they have a special week where they talk about William Shakespeare. They go around to different schools, lots of experts about the works of William Shakespeare. They visit schools and give talks to the students. And of course, they encourage the students, the young students, to read Shakespeare. And it is hard to appreciate just how much influence William Shakespeare has had on the English language, really. Even to this very day, 600 years ago, William Shakespeare was writing his plays and his sonnets. And 600 years ago, to this very day, William Shakespeare has shaped the way in which English is used. So here in the UK at the moment, it is Shakespeare Week. And I thought later on, after Mr. Steve arrives, I thought we would have a look at some words, some phrases that were created by William Shakespeare. And they are used in English right now. Mr. Duncan, I am from Turkey and I love you so much. Berk Odzokan. I hope I pronounce your name right. Berk Odzokan. And a big hello to you in Turkey. I have been to Turkey. I have visited Turkey twice. I even made a video lesson. I actually recorded a lesson in Turkey in a very beautiful place called Fethiye. And also another place called Şövalye. Two very beautiful places in Turkey. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I'm Gibril from Sudan. Can you teach us the grammar and exercises because your accent is very clear? Well, I talk about grammar sometimes. I also give you examples of sentences and how to use certain words. So can I just say that you are in the right place? With my lessons and my live English streams, you will have a chance to listen to English being spoken. Mr. Duncan, what is your real name? My real name is Duncan. That is actually my name. So my first name is Duncan. When I was living in China, working in China, everyone would call me Mr. Duncan. And that name has kind of stuck. So that's the reason why I use the name Mr. Duncan, because it sounds quite good, really. I quite like it anyway. We watched it and liked it so much. TGN Oran. Oh yes, TGN. Now this is something I'm going to mention on Sunday. I don't want to talk about it too much now because I don't have all the information here. But TGN is going to take her students on a trip, on a special trip. And it's all because of my English lesson that I recorded in Turkey. So yes, thank you very much for that. Yes to Shakespeare, says Jamelia. Yes, it's hard to appreciate just how much influence William Shakespeare had on the English language to this very day. For example, I will give you a quick example. Knock, knock, who's there? Now that is a type of joke that many people normally use or say. They make a joke and they say, knock, knock, who's there? And normally they will make a joke which is kind of a play on words. So yeah, Shakespeare came up with that. It was actually coined by William Shakespeare. The cherry blossom will be in full bloom in 2 weeks. I can't wait. Me neither. I love the cherry blossom. Sadly, I can only look at the beautiful photographs taken in Japan of the wonderful cherry blossom. Hi. Oh, a big hi and a big hand. Oh, thank you very much for that. Fernando is here. Thank you, Fernando, for joining me. It's late and live. It's 10:20, and I think Mr. Steve has just arrived. I think he's just parking his car outside the house. So I think Mr. Steve has arrived. Shakespeare is not easy to read for all those learning the English language like me. Well, a lot of Shakespeare's work is in what you might call Middle English, although Shakespeare was responsible for modernizing certain parts of the English language. So even though a lot of his writing sounds very strange, even to me, there is a lot in his work that we use nowadays. For example, in a pickle. In a pickle. It's an expression we use in English, but it was created by William Shakespeare. Many years ago I read some sort of Shakespeare book, but at that time it was hard to understand, and look that I read it and translated it to Portuguese. I translated it to the Portuguese language. Danielle, thank you very much, Danielle Medrios. When I was working in China, I was very lucky to find a book for sale that had all of Shakespeare's work translated into Chinese. Can you believe that? And apparently when you translate Shakespeare into Chinese, a lot of it makes no sense whatsoever because of the differences between the English language and the Chinese language. Hello from Russia, Mr. Duncan. My name is Gassan. What do you think about Luxembourg? The country? I think it's all right. Yes, sounds like a nice place. I've never been there, to be honest. Mr. Duncan, how can I speak English frequently? Can you advise me? Larif. There is something that I always say to my students whenever they ask me this question. I say, you can practice English at any time, anywhere. You can practice with yourself. You can listen to your own voice. You can record your voice and listen to it. Or, of course, you can create your own group. You can find other people, maybe on the internet or maybe in your local area, who are interested in practicing their English. So there are 3 suggestions for you. Mr. Duncan, your accent is very clear. Thanks a lot for that. Yes, I do speak clearly because I am an English teacher. So really, when you think about it, there would be no point teaching English. Certainly, if you had to listen to my voice, there would be no point if you couldn't understand what I was saying. I would be wasting my time. Hello, Mr. Duncan. My name is Roberto, and I am from Tenerife. Oh, wow. Tenerife. I wish I was in Tenerife at the moment. That sounds very nice. Can you explain what does you took it like a duck to water? Thank you, Moji. If you take something like a duck to water, it means you took to it very easily. It means you learnt it very quickly. You were able to do it for the first time without much practice. So you take to something like a duck to water. And the reason why we say that is because ducks live on water. And they make it look so easy. They make it look very easy. So if you do something for the first time and you do it very well, we can say that you took to it like a duck to water. I love that expression. Mr. Duncan, although I don't often participate in the chat, here is a regular viewer who enjoys all your programs. A huge hug to everyone. Thank you, Alberto. That's very kind. There is one thing I am very aware of, and I've been aware of this for a long time since I started doing the live chats. I am very aware that there are many people watching out there. Yes, I'm on about you. Many people out there who don't say hello on the live chat. They watch, but they never say hello. And there are many reasons for this. Maybe they are feeling a little shy, or maybe they are nervous to type something in English. So that's probably the reason why. So can I say hello to all the shy people? All of the people who don't want to say hello on the live chat. Maybe tonight could be your night where you say hello on the live chat. Come on, don't be shy. Give it a try, or else you'll make Mr. Duncan cry. Mr. Steve has arrived, but I can't see him anywhere. I don't know where he's gone. Maybe he's gone to the toilet. I think so. To take to something like a duck to water. To discover that when you start to do something for the first time, you have a natural ability. Thank you, Aradas. I think that's what I said. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I am here in Brazil. Italiani Toli. Hello to you. If you are watching at the moment and you have never said hello on the live chat, go on, have a go now. Take your finger and type. Say, hello, Mr. Duncan. I have never said hello to you before. Don't be shy, give it a try, or else you'll make Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve cry. You will. Do you have any friends from other countries, Mr. Duncan? Well, I have lots of friends on Facebook. I think I have about 15,000 friends on Facebook, and many people write to me via email. So yes, I have lots of people who I talk to, some people who have become regular correspondents. Yes, it's true. Hello, I'm a shy person, Mr. Duncan. Hello from the shy person, Alex. Alex McWild. Hello, Alex. Thank you so much for taking that little step to saying hello on the live chat. And it's quite easy, really, isn't it? Catty Orellana says, I am a shy girl as well. Well, Catty, you are not shy anymore because you've said hello on the live chat. Mr. Duncan, could Mr. Steve please make a cup of coffee for us? Actually, that would be quite nice, a cup of coffee at this time of night to keep me awake. So, where is Mr. Steve? I will tell you where Mr. Steve is. Mr. Steve is now walking through the door of my studio, and he's coming over towards me. He is walking towards me right now in a very strange way. What are you doing, Steve? You weirdo.
My legs are all stiff, Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Steve has stiff legs. I don't know what he's been doing. Why, Mr. Steve? Why,
Hello.
Mr. Steve? Why are you all stiff?
I don't know why I did that, actually. I just suddenly felt like doing it. Hello to everyone.
You know, sometimes if you feel like doing something on impulse, that's a great word, by the way, impulse.
Impulse.
Impulse. Yes. If you do something on impulse, it means you do it without much thought. You do it almost like a reaction to something. You do it without much thought. It is just impulse.
Yes,
Yes.
like I just did then.
So Mr. Steve didn't plan to walk in here like this, but he did it. He did it on impulse.
I did.
We were talking earlier, Steve, about Stephen Hawking.
Oh, yes.
Really, really sad news. Now, this week we have lost another big celebrity here in the UK that many people out there probably have never heard of. But it's a person that we grew up with on the television. And his name was Ken Dodd. And he was a comedian. And he worked in show business for 70 years. 70. Not 17. 70. Can you imagine working in one field, in one area, and especially a very difficult area, a profession like show business? because it's not easy, is it?
And I think it was so natural to him as a comedian. And of course, he was very famous for going on stage doing comedy routines that would last for hours and hours. He had a huge catalogue of jokes and funny stories that he loved to relay to the audience. And famously, his shows went on like for 3-4 hours sometimes, didn't they?
Longer than that, in fact. So if he did a live performance in a theatre, quite often his shows would go on sometimes for 4, 5, sometimes 6 hours. He would be on the stage performing, and he would just stay there for 5 or 6 hours, and the audience would sit there as well for all of that time. And sometimes the shows would go on until maybe 1 or sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning.
And he had a very good voice as well. He released singles and albums.
Yeah, at one time in 1965, he sold almost not quite, almost more songs, more records than the Beatles. That's amazing. But he did have a very good voice. So yes, very sad week. So
what have you been saying about Stephen Hawking then?
Well,
today?
I was just briefly talking about his work and the things that he did and the things he talked about, and many people on here are also saying things on the live chat as well. So I thought a good question as well to ask tonight would be science. Do you think science is a subject that's interesting to everyone?
Well, science. I love science. That was my favourite subject at school. Chemistry, biology, physics. The thing with physics is biology is probably the easiest subject to take of the sciences. I think physics and chemistry, they're both hard. I had to give them up because I'm not very good at maths. You need to be very good at maths to be able to do physics.
I think of all of them, I think physics is the one, isn't it? That is the really difficult one.
So I ended up doing biology. And ended up working in labs and things like that because I love doing experiments. I used to have my own lab at home.
We've heard this story before.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm boring you already, am I, Mr. Duncan?
You don't have to shout. It's okay.
This is my normal voice.
Yes, I'd rather you didn't do that.
Did you read Stephen Hawking's book, famous book, A Brief History of Time? Did you ever read it, Mr. Duncan?
I've read it, yes. And also there was
Ooh, I'm not sure he really has.
I'm just trying to get to the end of the sentence. Here's a brief history of me getting to the end of a sentence. So, yes, I have read it. And there was a very interesting TV show as well made based on the book. And it was presented by Stephen Hawking. So, yes, very good.
Did a lot of work on black holes.
That's it, black holes. What happens when you go into a black hole? If you are flying through space and you come towards a black hole and you go into it, what happens? And there are many theories about what actually happens when you go into a black hole. Some people believe that you become nothing. That's it. You just vanish. That's it. Gone.
I think your molecules get torn apart.
And that was what Stephen Hawking thought, if I remember rightly.
Yes, but if you see the famous film, science fiction film, The Black Hole, you go straight through and out the other side and into a brand new universe.
I don't think we're going to use Disney science fiction films. Disney science fiction films to base our studies of black holes on, to be honest. The one thing about biology, because you mentioned biology biology is very easy because you have your own reference, you see. You have your body. So I always think that biology is quite easy, especially when you're talking about the human body, because you have one. So all of the bits, all of the parts.
Human biology, maybe, yes.
Yeah, human biology. So that would be very easy. I think that would be the one to do. That's definitely the one to do because you have your own reference book here, and that's you. So you can look at your hand, you can look at all of the skin.
There's a bit more to it than that, Mr. Duncan. Yes.
Well, not much
naming
more.
The parts of your body.
Okay, then where the malleus, incus, and stapes. are part of which
Like
body?
your ears.
Your ears, yes. The malleus, incus, and stapes are the bones in your ears. So, yes, I was very interested in human biology and human anatomy at school. So I was really fascinated by it.
He's told me all sorts of stories about when he was at school. He used to... So when you've got a teacher at school, he's laughing because he knows what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say.
Most people want
don't
to
have to
please their teachers
just take it down.
by maybe taking them a little gift, a present, maybe some chocolates, something like that. What did Mr. Duncan take to his biology teacher as a present? The eyes from were they pig's eyes or cow's eyes?
No, wrong. They were sheep eyes.
Sheep eyes.
But no,
They weren't human eyes.
the cow part was the brain. So I took a cow's
Oh,
I took a cow's brain to the classroom. I took some sheep's eyes to the classroom, and also some lungs as well. I can't remember where the lungs came from, but I took them to school all in a plastic bag, and I took them to school and gave them to my biology teacher. And he thought I was crazy.
And I think a lot of people would... Where did you get these from? Did you go into a field and kill these animals and rip out the organs?
Like, are you trying to shout to the neighbours or something?
No, I'm just talking normally. Did you get them from a butcher's?
I can tell you've been on the stage tonight. He's been doing some performing tonight because he's projecting too much.
Did you get them from the butcher's, Mr. Duncan?
I did get them from the butcher's. There was a lovely guy called Peter Bevan who lived very, very close to where we lived, and he did run a butcher's shop, a butchery. And I used to go in there and ask him if he had any of the offal.
Awful.
So offal is generally it's the stuff that they throw away, the things that they don't want, like the organs, the eyes and the lungs and the stomach and the intestines. So all of that stuff. So yes.
I've heard mine making that noise before.
Are you sure about that?
Is that the noise it makes when it's falling out? If I was to slit you open, would it make that noise as it came out?
That's a strange thing to say. Mr. Steve is live tonight. Now, we didn't have Mr. Steve last Sunday because what were you doing last Sunday?
Well, it was Mothering Sunday or Mother's Day, and I went to see my mother, which was very nice. And my sister was there as well, and her husband, because my sister is also a mother. She has children. So we were celebrating Mother's Day for my mother and my sister, who's also a mother, which is a bit strange, but true. And yes, we went for a pizza, which was not really the sort of Mother's Day meal you would normally go with.
It's not a meal that you should ever have with anyone if it's a special occasion. It's like if you take someone out for a romantic meal, never take them for pizza. It's not a good first impression, really.
Yes.
You have to take them to a place that's a little bit more sophisticated.
Or a burger. Don't take them to McDonald's.
No, well, that's even worse.
There are other franchises, of course, that deal in burgers. Name another one. I can't think of another one.
Burger King.
Burger King.
Yeah,
There's another
it
one.
has burger in the name. So what other burger outlets are there? Oh, Burger King.
I might do something spontaneous in a minute.
He got really angry last week with me because he said I was bullying him last week on last Wednesday, didn't you?
You were bullying me, Mr. Duncan.
He thought
he was in a bad mood because he couldn't get his live stream to work.
Yes, that was.
I came in and he took it out on me.
That was stupid YouTube.
Over the thing about, when do you say good morning to somebody at midnight, or do you say when the sun's coming? Let's not go there again.
Are you still speaking English there?
Yes.
We
had a debate. But anyway, we won't go into that. People can watch last Wednesday's stream.
Well, you almost are going on as long as last week talking about it. Let's not mention that again.
What's this here?
Let's not mention that. Here is something I want to show everyone before we carry on. Tonight, by the way, we are going to talk about William Shakespeare because it's Shakespeare Week here in the UK. Many schools are having special celebrations, and it is a way of getting the youngsters, the young kids, to read a bit of Shakespeare. And let's not forget that Shakespeare helped to coin many, many phrases that we use now in English. So we'll be taking a look at those in a little bit. Here is something that was sent to me by Belarusia, and it's the thing that we talked about on
donation.
The thing that we talked about on Sunday, and someone mentioned the hornero, which is a type of bird. So the hornero is a type of bird, and there it is on the Argentinian note. So it's actually on the new, I think is it 1,000? I think it's 1,000 pesos, and it's on the new note, and there it is, a beautiful bird. Now, I wasn't sure what it was, but there it is. There is a lovely picture of the actual note. This isn't a real Argentinian note. I don't think I can take this to Argentina and spend it.
What's that worth? 1,000 Argentinian
pesos. I wonder what yes, I wonder what it is.
What the exchange rate is.
I think mil means 1,000. So I guess mil peso means 1,000. It's a bit like millennium, I suppose.
Is it 100,000?
Sorry?
We don't know.
What do you mean?
What did you say? That was 1,000? Yeah,
well, 1,000
pesos.
Yes,
that's it.
When we talk about millennium, it's 1,000 years. So it's probably the same thing, you see. That's
well, it says 1,000 on it, so we're guessing it's 1,000.
Well, it is 1,000.
But what's it worth? What's the exchange rate into English money or maybe dollars?
I don't know. I would imagine it isn't a lot. Oh, Steve's very interested now in the live chat. He's all over the place.
I just saw it flashing up, you see.
He's all over the place like a mad woman's knickers. Here we go. Would you like to hold that?
I will. I can
hold
make comments.
Okay. I'd rather you didn't.
Oh.
So there it is. Thanks a lot. And also it was Sukat. He's already messed it up.
I nearly signed out of the phone.
He's already messed it up with his big banana fingers. The moment he gets hold of technology, he starts mashing the keys with his big hands.
Aridas, my mother, hasn't got an iPhone. So she can barely cope with a normal phone. So there's no way we're going to give her an iPhone.
Yeah, Steve's mum doesn't have an iPhone. My mum does, though. My mum has an iPad, and she uses it all the time. So my mum, who is now in her actually late, I said mid, but late 70s. And she has an iPad.
Somebody here, whose name I can't pronounce, says, have you ever tried to learn a foreign language such as French, German and Spanish? Well, we always, in England, we always learn French. At school, you have to, because it's the nearest country to us.
And of course, now Chinese is being taught in many schools. And I suppose that comes as no surprise.
I want to learn Spanish.
Okay.
Because the next musical extravaganza that I'm in is called San Marino.
San Marino.
San Marino.
San Marino.
And I've got to speak in a Spanish English accent.
Was that it then?
No, I've got to speak. I've got to speak as though I was sort of.
Is that Italian?
Well, Spanish or sort of a Latin American sort of accent, but obviously in English. So I want to learn how a Spanish person would speak English. I've got to listen to that to learn the accent.
You mean the Spanish accent then?
Well, no, how a Spanish person or somebody from Latin America, Argentina, something would speak English.
Okay.
With the accent.
Oh, I see. So yes, so the Spanish accent, but speaking English.
Yes.
We could have got that out the way quite quickly.
Oh, here we go. 1,000 pesos, according to Swan, is worth 43 euros.
Oh.
Thank you for that conversion.
Okay, we're not much clearer.
43 euros.
Euros. What's an euro? Is this an euro? Is this a new form of currency now? When we Brexit, when we leave Europe, we'll be using euros. You have to cut your ear off.
I'm going to be going on YouTube. I've already started so that I can listen to Spanish people or South American people speaking English, so that I can get the accent.
Yes.
so that I can perform it in that way as though I was this cat, because I'm supposed to be like a sort of Caribbean Spanish pirate.
Pilot. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching Sao Paulo.
Yes. So it's like a Colombian, something like a Colombian South American. They speak Spanish, so
they're going all over the place.
Well, I think it's supposed to be a Caribbean island that is sort of Spanish in origin. So I'm thinking maybe Colombian. So I'm looking for somebody who can speak Spanish in sort of a Latin American Spanish English accent.
There we go.
So that's what I'm looking for.
I know what you need to do, Steve. You need to listen to all of the movies starring Ricardo Montalban.
Yes, well, I suggested that to you earlier today.
Ricardo Montalban was a great actor. He was in many movies, including Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. Khan!
He was brilliant. He was Mexican.
Khan!
He was Mexican, but I think that's probably close enough. And he's got quite a...
Give me that.
He's got quite a, what you would call quite a sexy accent. So I think that would be quite good from the point of view of performing that kind of a character. You want somebody who's going to attract the ladies.
So this is Steve's confession tonight, that he finds Ricardo Montalban very sexy.
No, I didn't say that. I said he has got a sexy voice.
Well, he had.
That doesn't mean I find it attractive.
He had.
I'm just saying because women say, oh, Ricardo Montalban, or however you pronounce his name, he's got a very sexy accent. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm trying to get. So if anyone's got any ideas of who I can listen to speak English with a Spanish accent.
I know, you could just do the pirate. Steve does a great pirate voice.
Yeah, but it's like a British pirate
Just
voice.
do the pirate.
I can't do that.
If all else fails, do the pirate. That's what Johnny Depp does. Johnny Depp and all of the other ones, you know, in Pirates of the Caribbean. Arr, oh, arr, arr,
he just whispers, doesn't he? He just whispers.
Arr, hello, my name's Jack Sparrow. People used to say that I was like Jack Sparrow.
You've got a lesson where you've mimicked that particular actor.
Which actor?
The one that you just mentioned.
Which actor, though?
The one that you just mentioned.
I didn't mention the actor.
Yes, you did. You mentioned his name.
What's his name?
Well, he's an American actor. Everybody knows his name. I don't need to repeat that, of course.
So what's his name, then?
Well, you tell me.
You tell me.
You know him. I don't.
Well, you were listening to me, surely.
Jack Sparrow, that's his name.
No, Jack Sparrow is the character that the actor plays.
The actor plays.
Come
exactly.
on.
Everybody, I don't need to. It's Taken as Red that we all know who that actor is. Taken as Red.
Oh.
We mentioned that the other day.
Yeah.
It's something we don't have to mention because everybody knows it. It's obvious.
I love the way you reference live chats from 2 weeks ago.
Well, you know.
I'm sure everybody remembers that. Yes, so we've got some Shakespeare today.
God, looks like it's going to be a late night tonight.
It's a Shakespeare one, a Shakespeare week. And also something else we were talking about earlier tonight, Steve. We were talking about sandwiches. And I was just wondering, out there, what is the best sandwich? Now, you were talking earlier because you were saying that during your lunch break, when you are out and about, you find that there are very few sandwiches left now in the supermarkets. And I thought that maybe it's because a lot of the supermarkets now are getting very conscious of not wasting food. So I think they are producing fewer sandwiches. And that's the reason why they're running out of sandwiches much earlier in the day.
Yes, I think so. And also probably because they're not making as much money as they used to. So, yes, I used to be able to go to a supermarket, pick up a sandwich. There'd be loads there. But I notice now if you get there too late, they're all gone.
That's it.
So you're asking people what are their favourite sandwiches,
yes,
or even what are their worst sandwiches?
That's it, because you mentioned some really horrible sandwiches. Ooh. And the ones that are always left. And there are two sandwiches, two particular types of sandwich that are always left behind that no one wants. And that is egg mayonnaise sandwich
I don't mind egg mayonnaise, yes, but it always needs to be left.
Oh yeah, but yes, egg mayonnaise is okay when it's cold, but when it's gone a bit warm, oh, there's nothing worse than warm egg mayonnaise. It's disgusting. And also tuna and cucumber.
Salmon and cucumber.
Or salmon and cucumber.
Salmon and cucumber.
Because the bread goes all soggy. It goes all wet.
And they're revolting. Don't even bother. Anything with fish in a sandwich, I always think stay away from it, because particularly if it's a couple of, and I don't like to buy a sandwich where the sell-by date is the same day, because they've usually I go to the back of the fridge and look for the one that's got the longest sell-by date.
Steve is that annoying person in the supermarket who always reaches at the back. He always reaches right into the back.
I do.
To get the food that has the longest sell-by date. So Steve is the one that keeps doing that. It's very annoying.
Well, particularly with a sandwich, you don't want one that's going out of date on the day that you're there, because you think, oh, that's already a couple of days old. The bread's going to be soggy. You can't go wrong with cheese and onion sandwich and a packet of cheese and onion crisps. Oh, I love that combination.
Joe Dow says, can you say hello to my daughter, Anna Cecilia? We love you both. So Anna Cecilia from Joe Dow, hello to you, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello.
So yes, I do like meat sandwiches. I like especially something in a big thick roll, and something that's hot, like some sort of meat, like beef or sort of pork in the middle of a big sort of roll. And sometimes they put gravy on it as well, and it's all tender. The meat is tender and everything inside is still hot, and you bite into it and all of the gravy goes over your face. Oh yes, now I think that might be my most perfect sandwich.
I accidentally picked up a sandwich the other day which was one that was made with gluten-free bread.
Ugh.
I picked it up by mistake because it wasn't very well labelled. It was a chicken salad sandwich, and when I got into the car I noticed it was made with gluten-free bread for people who can't take the the wheat protein. I took 2 bites and I was nearly sick. It was revolting. So for people who suffer with wheat intolerance, I feel very sorry for you, because gluten-free bread is just revolting. I'm sorry. So I would not like to have a gluten intolerance or a wheat intolerance problem, because having to suffer gluten-free bread must be very difficult, because bread is delicious.
That's it. Yes, I must admit.
I couldn't finish it, Mr. Duncan.
Well, some things are quite nice though, gluten-free. There are some biscuits that I used to buy. Yes. And they're quite nice, so they're gluten-free, but they taste okay. But I think the reason why is because they put a little extra sugar into the biscuit. So the flavour kind of comes from the sugar. They add something just to boost the flavour, to get rid of that taste.
Yes, whereas bread is just lovely, and it's very spongy. And you know what, bread, you can't disguise bread. You can't. Whereas a biscuit, you can make a gluten-free biscuit quite easily.
That's it.
And you can make. I've had gluten-free chocolate bites and things like that, and they've been very nice. Chocolate brownies, gluten-free chocolate brownies are nice, but the bread on its own, horrible.
I tell you now, I am very, very sympathetic towards people who have gluten intolerance. I really, really do, because you have to eat all of that awful, terrible food. It's disgusting, especially the bread and cakes, gluten-free cakes. They really are disgusting. So, what's happening, Steve?
Jen Oran says halloumi cheese.
Oh, what's that then?
Yes, I've had that in a sandwich. I have had it. I think it's quite it's a bit like mozzarella, I think. Am I right?
Is it? It's a little bit like rubber.
Yes, I think it's got a certain consistency.
I think I've had it actually. Yes, I think I've actually had it on a sandwich.
It's all right. It's all right. I prefer cheddar, strong cheddar cheese.
I like the best cheese. It has to smell like your granddad's feet. If it doesn't smell like that, then I'm not eating it. I love strong cheese. Cheese that literally if you bite into it, it makes the inside of your mouth peel off and your teeth dissolve.
Ooh.
It's so strong.
Aurora. That's a nice name.
Aurora, like the Aurora Borealis.
Yes, something wonderful and to look at. Says, oh, she's gone now. She's in Brazil. You know what I think of Brazil? I'd love some Brazilian food.
Yeah.
And I want to know what you're going to be eating, Aurora. What are you eating in Brazil? It's 8 p.m. and you're going to have something to eat because you're hungry. What are you preparing to eat? What do you eat in Brazil? That's what I want to know.
What is Brazilian food?
Yes.
I imagine it's. I would say just now. I don't want to seem ignorant here, although I have a feeling I am going to. I think it's very spicy food. I think Brazilian food might be spicy. Lots of. I think meat, maybe a lot of avocados, things like that.
Is it like Caribbean food, do you think? Brazilian food?
Yes,
do you think
probably
it's
very
a bit
similar.
Like that? I do like Caribbean food.
I am feeling quite hungry now because of this.
Yes. Quite fancy bit of jerk chicken now.
Jerk chicken.
And some rice and peas, which is, I've got some Caribbean friends, and they make this delicious rice with it's called rice and peas, but it hasn't actually got peas in it, not green peas. It's red kidney beans, but they call it rice and peas, and they make it with this lovely spicy chicken. Oh, I absolutely love that, Mr. Duncan. Where's he gone? He's gone off. The best cheeses are in Netherlands. What's that holy cheese? The cheese full of holes that you can get in France, quite commonly sold in France. I always find that quite amusing. You love a cucumber sandwich, do you, Mika? It's nice if it's freshly made. I agree. A cucumber sandwich is very nice freshly made, but if it's bought from a supermarket and it's a couple of days old, the cucumber goes all limp and horrible.
I know the feeling.
And yes, you don't want a limp cucumber, Mr. Duncan. Definitely not.
There's nothing worse than a limp cucumber.
Yes, so, oh, right. So, no, yes, I agree. Freshly made cucumber is fine. And fish isn't very nice in a sandwich because salmon and tuna are quite pungent. They've got quite a strong smell. And when they've been lying in a sandwich for 2 days, they get stronger and stronger, and all the juices soak into the bread, and the bread all goes soggy. Oh, and then you bite into this soggy mess of a sandwich. It's revolting.
Soggy sandwiches are definitely off the menu, I think it's safe to say. Now, we're talking about Shakespeare this week because it is Shakespeare week, and it's amazing how many phrases, expressions that Shakespeare created or coined. If you coin something, it means you create something. You create it yourself. You coin something. You coin a phrase or you coin an expression. And there are many expressions. You can see just down here on the screen, you can see a big list of all of the expressions that Shakespeare created all on his own. So we're going to have a quick look. You can see them as well, Steve. So
I can.
We've already mentioned knock, knock, who's there? And quite often we would use a very humorous reply that was quite often a play on words. So, for example, you might pretend you are the dentist and you say, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Phil.
Phil who?
Phil McCavity.
Oh,
You see? Phil McCavity. So that sounds like a name, but also it could refer to a dentist. So there you go. Also another one, in a pickle. So yes, did you know that? Did you know that Shakespeare?
I didn't know that. No, Mr. Duncan.
In a pickle. If you are in a pickle, you are...
You've got problems. You've got issues. You're in a difficult situation. You're in a pickle. You can't make it. You're very confused.
Confused.
What's this bit? What's this
you
for?
You are in a dilemma. I'm just listening and considering your words.
I see.
I'm listening to Steve.
You're all in a pickle. You're all confused and you can't make up your mind.
You are in a
about
difficult
something.
situation.
Difficult situation.
Difficult situation.
But not perilous.
Not perilous,
No,
no.
not a very bad. It's sort of, oh, I'm in a bit of a pickle today.
You might say dilemma.
Dilemma.
Dilemma,
Yes,
okay.
dilemma.
So another one is, we're talking about teeth again. To set your teeth on edge. If something sets your teeth on edge, what does that mean?
Like lemon juice.
Or something that's very sugary. So if you eat something very sugary or something very cold, if you bite into ice cream, your teeth will, ooh,
Yes.
ooh. And we say that your teeth are on edge. Something will set your teeth on edge. Shakespeare came up with that expression. Yes.
Well.
Well. I can't wait to see the subtitles for that. Well. Well. You do it.
Well.
Well. Thank you.
We haven't got live subtitles yet, but
No.
apparently we're getting them, aren't we?
We might be getting them, but it's a secret. Shh.
Can I have a look at the live chat while you're reading? Shall I read out one
No,
here?
no, don't read any live chats out. We'll do a couple of more of the Shakespeare things.
That's what I meant.
Yes. Okay then. Well, that's not the live chat. That's Shakespeare's work. This is the live chat.
Oh, here's something that applies to us. Makes your hair stand on end.
Yes, something that makes your hair stand on end.
Yes.
Something that's very what?
Something that's frightening, scary.
Something that causes you to become very afraid or very nervous. Something
Yes.
makes your hair stand on end. And that is courtesy of Mr. William Shakespeare.
Or the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. That's a similar expression. When you're fearful of something, you suddenly get to this horrible feeling of fear.
Mildred asks, could you tell me what perilous means? A perilous situation, if something is perilous, it means it is risky, it is dangerous, something that might cause you harm or even death.
Yes. Yes.
Something
literally.
perilous.
Yeah. You could be standing on the edge of a cliff and you might fall over. Or you could be walking a tightrope. That would be you wouldn't do that in your ordinary life, of course.
I must admit, on my during my daily routine, I never walk along a tightrope.
Don't you?
Although you can use it,
yes.
you can use it as an expression to mean doing something that is perilous.
Yes.
So that itself can be an idiom for doing something that's dangerous.
Yes.
So you can say that you are walking along a tightrope. You are doing something that is a little bit risky, a little bit dangerous.
It could go either way. It could go well or it could go disastrously wrong.
A bit like this live stream, really.
I think it's going all right.
Okay, then. Hi, Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. I'm so sad for the passing of Dr. Stephen Hawking, Professor Stephen Hawking, one of the brightest minds of this world. Yes, very sad news. Really, really sad. Another bright mind that lived.
He wanted to come up with his life goal was to come up with a theory of everything.
Yes.
A theory that would explain the entire universe that we live in.
So why?
Sadly, he hasn't come up with that. Nobody else has either.
It's strange, isn't it, that one of the biggest questions is actually one of the smallest words in the English language. Why? Why?
Okay.
That's it. That was the question that Stephen Hawking, for most of his life, tried to crack. He tried to get the answer. Why?
Why what?
That's it. No, there isn't a why what. Why? That's it. That's the question.
Okay.
Everything. You're not talking about anything in particular. Why? Just why? When you look up at the stars at night, you see all of those tiny stars, billions of miles away, and you are looking at those stars as they looked millions of years ago. So those stars that you see in the sky at night are actually the stars as they looked millions of years ago. That's incredible.
Most of them, yes.
Because the light takes so long to reach us. And so because of that, it travels across space. And by the time it gets to us, millions of years have passed. That's incredible.
A lot of them, yes.
It just blows your mind.
186,000 miles per second.
Yes.
The speed of a light.
It's incredible. It just blows your mind.
What that is in kilometres.
So the next time you are in your garden and you are looking up at night to the night sky and you see all those tiny stars, each one of those stars is a sun. That's incredible. So our sun that gives us all that lovely light every day, so we can sit in our garden and get nice and brown, there's millions of them. So all of those stars, they are all different types of things that are millions and millions of miles away. And the light that you see is also millions and millions of years old.
It is amazing that they think that just in our galaxy alone, the Milky Way, there's about 200 billion stars or 200 billion suns, and there are about 200 or 300 billion galaxies. In fact, there are more suns in our own galaxy than there are grains of sand on the entire Earth, apparently.
My mind is blown.
That is quite... In fact, there is one theory which they now believe could well be true, that the universe is so big it is in fact infinite, which means it goes on forever. And when you have... we'll get too technical. I don't understand it all.
Yes, I think we should stop.
No,
we should
stop. I want to say something interesting.
Oh, okay. It better be interesting.
It is interesting.
Is it interesting?
Yes, because if the universe is infinite, even if it is not quite infinite, but quite close to infinite, don't mock me, Mr. Duncan, it means that anything is possible. Which means that we are here doing this live lesson. And because anything is possible in an infinite universe, and it means that everything will happen again. So that something else in another part of the universe, millions or billions of light years away, there will be another Earth exactly like this, with us doing a live stream. Maybe not right at this moment, but sometime in the past or in the history, we've done this all before.
I think Steve has been watching too many episodes of Star Trek.
No, it's nothing to do with Star Trek. That is science. If the universe is infinite, it means anything is possible and anything will, in fact, happen.
Yes.
Everything will happen.
Anyway, I get the feeling that no one wants to talk about this.
No, I think it's interesting. Let's have a look, see if people are interested.
No, they're not. They're talking about sandwiches.
Oh, right.
They're still talking.
Oh, in an infinite universe, any combination in a sandwich will be possible.
Can you have shark sandwich?
Yes.
Can I have shark and lobster sandwich?
Yep.
Can I have a London bus sandwich?
Yep, you can have anything.
Can I have a London bus on a sandwich?
Well, I don't think you can eat that.
I can bite into it and eat on a London bus.
Yes.
Can I eat on a London bus whilst eating a London bus?
You're just being silly now, Mr. Duncan.
Can I actually look at a picture of a London bus on a London bus whilst eating a London bus?
Well, you can't eat a London bus.
In another universe.
It's got to be possible within the realms of the laws of physics.
Oh, make your mind up.
You can't eat a bus, can you?
Make your mind up. You see, he's going back already on his...
You've still got to stay within the laws of physics.
There's no way... Well, I think we can
Even in an infinite universe.
I think we can safely say that Mr. Steve is never going to be the next Stephen Hawking.
Oh, I think I know more about it than you, Mr. Duncan.
So it would appear that people are more interested in sandwiches than the meaning of the universe. To be honest, I don't blame you because I'm quite hungry at the moment.
Well, let's face it, we can't do anything about it anyway. Even if we understand it, how the universe works, it's not going to really change our lives because we'll just be going out to work, getting up, going to the toilet, eating, etc. So it won't really change our lives.
Put the brakes on.
Why bother coming on? Because all he does is abuse me.
No, somebody's asking you a question.
Oh, okay.
I'm
shutting about a sandwich.
I'm saying shut up, Steve, because someone wants to ask you a question.
I don't know whether I can answer it.
How long does it take light from the sun to get to the Earth?
It's right now. Is it 9 minutes or 9 seconds? It's one of the two. It's somewhere around.
I don't think it's. Is it 9 minutes?
I think it's about. I think it's minutes. Yes, I think it's several minutes.
9 minutes.
I think it is, yes.
Are we sticking with 9 minutes?
I think it takes about 9. I think it does take about 9 minutes. Am I right?
Minutes. 9 minutes. Show me 9 minutes. Ding. I don't know. Oh, sorry. I thought I was on a game show then.
It's either 9 seconds or 9 minutes. It's either it's something I can't. Somebody must know. Do they know? Look it up. Light from the sun.
I can hear that people around the world now are typing into Wikipedia.
I think it is about 9 minutes.
9
Might be
minutes.
wrong though.
Okay.
It sounds too long to me.
That sounds a very long time. 9 minutes.
It does. 186,000 miles per second. How far is it to the sun? We can't work that. Oh, I can't work that out in my head.
Please, yes. Neither can I. If only Stephen Hawking was here.
I think it's minutes.
Oh, apparently we are correct. You are correct. Mr. Steve is correct. Are you okay?
I can hear the applause from millions around the world.
There's just this distant echo inside Mr. Steve's head.
That's amazing. When you look at the sun, it's 9 minutes old.
Yeah, it takes 9 minutes, according to Steve, not me, just in case it's wrong.
And the internet. And whoever's...
Well, if you get your information from Wikipedia, you know.
No, I think it's right.
Very interesting. By Apollo says interesting. So yes.
Apollo.
So the next time.
Interesting name for talking about a spacey subject, and your name's Apollo.
Yeah.
The name of a space rocket that went to the moon.
Well, Apollo was a Greek god. Mildred says, "Oh, Mildred is laughing." Ha 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 ha. So we are looking at Shakespearean phrases that we still use. Good riddance.
Good riddance, Mr. Duncan.
Good riddance. So good riddance is normally an exclamation that you make when you are glad to see someone go. So when they walk out the room, maybe it is someone you hate or despise.
You don't like them.
And you are glad to see them go. You say, oh, he's gone now. Good riddance.
Yes.
Shakespeare. That's Shakespeare.
That they're gone and you don't want them to come back. Sometimes you say it to their face, don't you?
Do you?
But most of the time it's a phrase you say behind their back.
Who have you ever said good riddance to someone's face?
Yes. I'm sure I have.
What, to them?
Yes.
What when they're saying they are saying that they are going and you say to them good riddance.
Yeah. If you don't like them.
Oh.
Yeah, you can say that.
I can't imagine that. I can't. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. We are getting very cerebral tonight.
Oh, I've started something.
Very cerebral.
See, intelligent people out there, Mr. Duncan. When we just want to talk about sandwiches.
Ooh, no, that's it. When we talk about cerebral things, we talk about things that are in the mind, things that we ponder, things that we think about, things that we consider. And that's really what Stephen Hawking did. He spent a lot of his time thinking and studying and trying to work out how things worked, how things were connected. So there you go. Do you believe in time travel, asks Jordow. Now, I can answer that from my own opinion, first of all. I don't believe in it because no one has ever come back from the future. You see, it's very easy to disprove. So there are no time travelers, thus there is no time travel. It doesn't exist because we would see people appearing from the future and there aren't any. So that means that time travel is not possible.
Yes, I don't think. Well, it's theoretically possible to go in a spaceship and go near the speed of light, and then time travels differently for you. So it is possible to travel forward in time if you go at very high speed.
Yes.
When you come back, everyone will be dead.
Yes, but that's not time travel.
No, it's not. Well, it is a kind of time travel.
No, but I think they're on about just travelling,
Yes.
like from the future to 2018, and you've got a silver suit on and a big cone on your head, and you go, hello, I'm from the future. This is what human beings are like in the future. We talk out of our hands.
We're all going to be in about a few hundred years' time. There was a very funny episode in a comedy series where all the people coming from the future were all just this weird caramel colour. because of globalization, everybody traveling and interbreeding with different races, everyone ended up being just this caramel color, which I thought was quite funny. Do you remember that?
Can we say caramel color?
Yes, color of caramel.
Sorry, wait there. No, we have to check. Sorry, everybody out there, if there are any PC police watching or anyone, anybody,
fine.
can we say caramel? Is it okay?
We can.
Wait there. I'm just getting a live update here from the political correctness police. Yeah, can we? I'm just checking to make sure that we can say caramel to describe the colour of a person.
Yeah, I think we can.
Apparently, you can't.
Okay, I'll go then. Bye.
It is extremely offensive, and tomorrow we will have people protesting outside the house.
I don't think so.
They will be tearing Steve to pieces when he goes outside.
But you can imagine that,
to
can't
start
you?
his car.
You can imagine that in 500 years' time, we're all just basically one colour. What were we talking about before that?
I don't know. Your
Time
travel.
That's it. So
I feel like I want to go back in time and start this live stream again.
according to physicists, there is no way you can possibly travel back in time. That apparently is impossible. But travelling forward in time is possible.
Well, that's been proved. That's been proved that you can do that. And here's an interesting fact that will blow your mind. When you get on a plane, you know what's coming next.
I do.
When you get on an aeroplane and you travel a very long distance on a plane, did you know that you are actually also travelling through time?
Forward in time.
You are travelling forward in time. You are actually going forward in time because of the speed of the plane. But of course, the time that you move forward by is just like a micro second, isn't it? It's just
millionths of a second or something.
It's a very tiny amount, but because of the speed of the plane, there is a strange, I want to say a quantum effect or some sort of effect where the time shifts.
I think it's just to do with I don't know what the theory is there.
But there is a thing where if you move fast through time, the faster you go, the further forward or the faster the time goes for you. So when you arrive, sorry.
It's right. So if you travel at the speed of light,
the time's faster for them.
Yes, it's faster for the people. If we got in a spaceship and travelled close to the speed of light for, but I think it's 4 years, and then you come back again, everyone on Earth's aged by 30 years.
That's it.
Something like that.
I don't think anyone's interested. Not one person has made a comment about any of this stuff we're talking about.
Well, of course, to us it's late at night. You start talking about these subjects late at night.
Anyway, yes, apparently Aradas says it's all to do with relativity.
Relativity, that's the phrase I was looking for. Relativity.
Yeah, well, Adris.
Einstein.
Adris said it before you.
We're live. You can't think straight.
Well, here's a bit of irony. So we lost Professor Stephen Hawking today, but today is also the anniversary of Einstein's birth.
Is it?
Yes.
So exactly the same day.
How bizarre is that?
Now, that really is a coincidence.
Einstein was born on this day, and also today is a very special day.
Is that true?
It is true. And also today is a special day because it is Pi Day. Pi Day, because the date, well, you have to be in America, of course, because we don't do it this way round. We do it the other way round. So 3.14 is the first part of pi.
Which pi goes on forever. It's an infinite number.
It goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Yes. And of course, in the UK, in America they put the month before the day. But in England, of course, we put it the other way around.
I'm demonstrating here.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Didn't see that. I've got a screen there. I couldn't see it.
So it works. It works on yours, Steve. Hold it up again.
There we go.
I'm trying to demonstrate.
Pi.
So it works on yours, but on ours it doesn't.
The mathematical constant.
143 isn't pi, but 341 is.
On there.
314
very annoying, when it's round the other way.
Yes. So, and also, it was who else's birthday was it? I'm trying to. Another person died on this day, also connected to. I'll remember in a minute. Okay. Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve, where were you on the 11th of the 9th, 01? 11th of the 9th. Is that the 11th of
Is that
September?
9/11?
Yes,
That
I think they're
9/11?
saying 9. Well, it could be the 9th of November, of course.
Oh,
You
yes.
see. So that's the problem. When you use when you write the date like this, it can be very confusing because for British people, we don't do it like this. We do it the other way round. We put the day first and then the month. So it can be very confusing.
You weren't in this country on 9/11, were you?
I was.
Were you?
I was in a plane the day before 9/11, and this is a story I think I've told before. I actually arrived back from Malaysia the day before 9/11. It has nothing to do with 9/11. I wasn't
Yes,
in
that's
New
right.
York or anything like that. I wasn't flying with American Airlines or anything. It was nothing connected. But I was on a plane the day before 9/11. So I arrived back in the UK the day before. And then the following day, of course, we all know what happened there.
Everybody remembers where they are and
Where they were.
significance. Yes, okay.
Not where they are.
Everyone remembers
Unless
where
they're
they
travelling in
were.
time.
Oh, but you didn't. I didn't finish the sentence.
Come on.
Everyone remembers where they were when there are significant world events, presidents being assassinated and things like that.
So where were you when the Magna Carta was signed?
I wasn't. Well, I was probably existing on another planet somewhere billions of miles away. Because in the infinite universe, of course, we're immortal because we
Yes.
will exist again.
We are all made of stars.
Stardust, yes. Some of us have got more of the heavy elements than others.
So yes, apparently 3.14159 is the start of pi. So yes, it's quite a coincidence that Stephen Hawking died today, and
That's
it was
incredible.
the birthday of Einstein. Write that down. Write that down.
How did he manage to arrange that?
I don't think he arranged it.
I know he didn't. I'm just being.
Hello?
Just
Hello,
being a bit silly.
Hello, it's Stephen Hawking here. Could you please arrange for me to die on the same day as Einstein's? Yeah, okay then. Thank
is
you.
a massive coincidence. When the more you think about that, the more you think that is just amazing.
It's a coincidence.
Mind you, I suppose it's a 1 in 365 chance, so it's probably not that
Yes.
significant.
So there is a chance that we will die on the same day,
Yes,
especially if it happens at the same time.
but it's still significant that they were both, famous physicists.
So let's have another phrase invented by Shakespeare.
Go
we are
on.
going in around about 5 minutes. So yes, the live chat has gone very quiet. I think all of the very deep and meaningful things, we've talked about tonight. Hello, Mr. Duncan. That's a robot. Oh,
There we go. Stephen Hawking. I know what I'm pointing down there for.
no one can see what you're pointing at.
Stephen Hawking yesterday breathed his last.
Yes, or today.
Today was it?
It was
Okay.
the early hours of this morning. So, yes, to breathe your last is to take your last gasp of air.
Yes, we don't want that.
You breathe your last. You expire. You die. You go wherever you believe you go. So there you go. Another one. If someone is faint-hearted, it was created by Shakespeare. Faint-hearted?
Faint-hearted, yes, that means that you get quite easily upset.
Yes, very sensitive.
Sensitive.
Very
sensitive.
very highly strung.
Yes, highly strung, easily. I suppose it's saying that the slightest thing, I'm going to faint. But yes, faint-hearted. So if you were to say something to me that was very mildly abusive, I might get upset or something like that.
Another good one is
Not for the faint-hearted.
you can
say,
see
don't
the
you?
list here, by the way. There is a list here that you can see on the screen. You might need a magnifying glass to have a look at that. But there they are.
I'm just thinking of a way to use faint-hearted. You could say, like, for example, a horror film, you could say horror films are not for the faint-hearted.
Yes. The new Saw film where that
Yes.
bloke chops people up. He chops them to pieces. That film is not for
Not
the faint.
for the faint-hearted.
Not for the faint-hearted.
Exactly.
Shakespeare is a great man.
Mr. Duncan's live streams are not for the faint-hearted.
Yes, you've really got to have a lot of perseverance to get through these live streams, especially for us. It's if you think it's hard for you, imagine standing here doing it live. My goodness. So yes, lacking courage, to be timid. Somebody else here has access to an online dictionary. It's great when you love it. It's great when you can just key in the words and you get the answers.
Well, what's great is that if we can't remember something, that people can look it up and tell us the answer.
Here's another one: to wear your heart on your sleeve.
Oh.
Yeah, that came from the Bard.
Well.
The Bard himself, William Shakespeare.
People say I do that, don't they? Wear your heart on your sleeve. It means that you no emotions are hidden. Everything that you're thinking about is there for everybody to see.
That's it. You can be too open with your feelings.
You're not holding anything back, are you?
And of course, if you wear your heart on your sleeve, it is very easy to be exploited and to be used by horrible people, nasty people out there.
What you see is what you get. So if you're upset about something, you're not going to keep anything in. The British way normally is to hold all your emotions in. But if you're somebody who just expresses themselves, I think that tells everybody how they feel.
I think that's different, though.
That's
because when you wear your heart on your sleeve, it means you show your vulnerability.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes.
Which is not a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't. A lot of people around here where we live think that I'm a bit of a monster because I tend not to.
Yes.
I tend not to show my feelings openly when I'm talking to people.
I think you show your feelings towards other people. You don't like them,
especially strangers. No, I'm very uneasy. I've said this before. I'm not hiding anything. I've said this before. I'm very uneasy around people I don't know. It might sound strange. You might not believe it. You might think, Mr. Duncan, that's impossible because you're so much fun. But no, I get quite nervous and very uncomfortable around people I don't know. I like to have an idea of who I'm going to be dealing with, especially when we go to a party. I always ask Steve who will be there. I always ask him. And if there are people there that I don't know, quite often I won't go to the party. I will say no.
You don't like surprises, do you?
I don't like surprises. I like to have a certain amount of control over what is happening around me.
Yes.
If I go to a place where there is an unknown quantity, so there are people there who I don't know, it's all very unpredictable.
Unsettling for you,
I think so. Yes. Very interesting tonight. So we'll have a couple of more and then we'll go. Let's have a look. Oh, fight fire with fire.
Right.
It's Shakespeare. Shakespeare coined that phrase. So if you fight fire with fire, what do you do?
Well, it's actually just how it sounds, really.
Yes. So you use the same thing that is attacking you or the same thing that is causing problems for you, and you use the same thing back to push it back, like fire. So if there is a fire burning in a forest, quite often they will burn another fire nearby to stop the fire that's spreading. So once the fire reaches the area that's already burning, and that area is controlled, the fire will then go out. You have control over the fire.
Yes, so if somebody's competing with you in some way, and they've got some method of getting one over on you, you use the same process to get back at them. Or if somebody starts shouting at you, you can shout back at them.
It's a bit like
fighting fire with fire.
It's quite strange. It might be little bit like what's happening at the moment between the UK and Russia. So today, Theresa May said, I'm going to expel some Russian diplomats from this country. But then, of course, Russia will probably do the same thing. They will fight fire with fire. They will do the same thing back. So they will probably expel some British or UK diplomats from Russia and send them back here. So, or another good is tit for tat. I like that one.
Yes.
Yes, I know we're going off subject slightly, but I love that, tit for tat. So one person does something and then the other person does something to retaliate. And sometimes they do the same thing to retaliate. So, yes, I think we've covered that quite well. Please, can you stay for 30 more minutes, Mr. Duncan?
Oh, 30 minutes.
Pedro,
Oh, my calves are aching.
Pedro, do you realise it's half an hour away from midnight? I've been standing here for 1.5 hours. How do you think I feel?
I've been standing here for half an hour. My calves are aching already.
Yes, imagine it.
We'd love to, actually.
When I'm 70, I'm going to have big varicose veins in my legs.
I've got them already.
And it's going to be your fault. It's going to be all your fault when my legs look like bags full of spaghetti.
All I can think about is what they're cooking in Brazil at the moment. Whoever it was that was cooking.
I know. I want to try.
Nice.
Is there a Brazilian restaurant around here?
I don't think we have Brazilian restaurants.
No.
We have Caribbean restaurants, but we don't have Brazilian.
Apparently, what does the green-eyed monster mean? Because it is on my list. If you see at the bottom, on the left, the green-eyed monster is the definition of jealousy.
Oh, yes.
You express jealousy. So a person who is jealous, in fact, even the text underneath is green. That's very clever. I like that. So the green-eyed monster is jealousy. So when a person has the green-eyed monster, it means that they feel jealous of another person.
Similar to the expression green with envy.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think you might find that green with envy actually came after the green-eyed monster. So I think you might find that Shakespeare was there first and then the other one came later.
So if you're jealous of somebody, you say that they've got the green-eyed monster. Is that right? I don't know why when people say you're envious or jealous, they always use the word green.
I don't know.
Green with envy.
Yes.
I don't know why they use that. It must be the way you look when you're jealous or envious of someone. There must be a certain look on your face. And they say you're green with envy.
That's right. Green with envy.
You've got a touch of the green-eyed monster about you.
Let's have another one. If you haven't... Oh, I've not slept one wink.
Not slept a wink.
Shakespeare. That's Shakespeare.
Wow.
He created that.
So if you've had a bad night's sleep, you wake up in the morning, you feel really tired, you say, oh, well, I had a dreadful night's sleep. I didn't sleep a wink.
I didn't sleep one wink. It means that you didn't sleep at all.
It's an expression people use. Oh, I didn't sleep a wink last night.
Well, of course, a wink means to close your eyes. So when you close your eyes on one side, so you just close one eye, that is a wink.
Aye, Mr. Duncan.
Can you wink? Mr. Steve is a bit of a winker.
Ooh, it's made my eyes go funny.
I hope the subtitles get that right.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Duncan, it's raining cats and dogs in Sao Paulo.
Oh, is it?
Let's have another one. Break the ice. This is one that we used a few weeks ago.
We did indeed.
Here's the rest of the sentence. The other week.
Was that it? But just one extra word, was it?
That's three words.
The ice. Yes, we did. We used that expression when we were talking about idioms related to the cold.
Yes, to break
snow and ice.
So yes, Shakespeare created that expression, to break the ice.
To break the ice, to get things moving when you've got people together and they don't know each other very well. Often you might play a little game or something like that just to get everybody relaxed, break the ice.
Another good one. Too much of a good thing.
Too much of a good thing. That'll be chocolate with me.
Yes. Anything that you have that feels good or makes you feel good or is pleasurable, but then you have too much of it. And quite often, too much of a good thing can make you suffer or to be sick, or it can make you feel unwell, or it can damage you in some way. So yes, too much of a good thing is courtesy of Mr. Shakespeare.
Yes, you can use that for anything. Food, when you're overindulging in food, you've had too much to eat. That's too much of a good thing. Too many holidays. People often say, well, that's too much of a good thing.
Oh, here's a good one. Dead is a doornail.
Dead as a doornail, yes, it just means you're very dead. Although if you're dead anyway. You can't be very dead, can you?
No, you can't be very dead. You can be quite dead. Is he dead? Well, he's a bit dead. He's slightly dead. He's a bit more dead now. Now he's completely dead.
A doornail is an inert object, isn't it? So
something that's cold and hard.
Cold, hard.
Just like a person when they're dead, they go
doornail.
They go cold and they go hard. That's it. It's horrible, but it's true. So we started off with death, and we're ending.
We've come full circle.
Yes, full circle.
Which
Can you
is
see?
another
Yes,
expression.
It's there. Full circle.
We started talking about a subject at the beginning of your live lesson. An hour and a half later, we've come full circle all the way back to it again.
It means to end up where you started. So if you end up in the same place you started from, you go full circle. Thank you, Mr. Shakespeare, for that one. It's very kind of you. It's strange that the live chat has gone very quiet.
Maybe everyone's gone to bed.
I wonder if is there anyone still there?
They all travelled in time.
They've all gone back to the beginning. No, they've gone back to just before the live stream started, and they've pressed the little X in the corner of the screen to make it disappear.
Oh no, please don't do that.
They've gone, I'm not doing that again.
Are we off then, Mr. Duncan?
What is the meaning of to be cruel? You must be cruel to be kind. To be cruel to be kind. Well, sometimes, especially if you are a parent, and you will know this, sometimes you have to be cruel to your child to be kind, to teach them a lesson. So sometimes you have to be a little bit strict, or you have to lay down the rules, and sometimes you have to do it in a very harsh way.
Yes.
So sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. Quite often parents behave in that way.
A similar expression would be tough love.
Oh, yes.
Tough love. So sometimes if you love somebody, but it's the same as cruel to be kind. So you have to be a bit tough on them. Because you know that's good for them, but it's very hard to do that. Say you've got a child and they're always demanding things, they're a bit spoilt, they're always after asking you for money for things, and then you want to teach them the value of money, so you stop giving them things, or you ration how much you're giving to them. You would say that was being cruel to be kind, or tough love.
Parents often are cruel to be kind. They might take their child's phone away from them just to teach them a lesson, because maybe sometimes they take things for granted. They always expect it to be there. So sometimes you have to teach a very tough lesson. Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind, or you have to use tough love. Here's another one. Vanish into thin air. It's Shakespeare.
Well,
Shakespeare created that phrase. To vanish into thin air. To completely disappear without trace.
Where did he go? He just vanished into thin air.
He just vanished. Poof.
Somebody just disappears. They're there 1 minute, gone. Of course, they're not actually vanishing into thin air, but you look for somebody and they're suddenly gone. Where they're gone.
Maybe you're talking to someone and then you look the other way and then you turn back and the person's gone. They've walked off. But it's as if they vanished
into thin air.
They vanished into thin air. Shakespeare. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. Let's have a couple of more, because this is very interesting. A lot of people now are saying this list is amazing. So many people didn't even realise this. I think even Steve is finding out some of the...
I like that one down there.
Which one?
Bottom right.
The bottom right.
Love is blind.
Love is blind. Oh, yes. I think that a lot of people, many people will go along with this expression that William Shakespeare created.
Love is blind. You fall in love with somebody, but because you're in love with them, you can't see all their faults. And quite often you fall in love with the wrong person. We've all done that. And your friends might be able to see that they're a bad person, but you can't, because you're too in love with them. So love is blind. You can't see their faults. I think that would be accurate, would it not?
That's very good, yes. So love is blind. It makes fools of many people. People do foolish things when they fall in love because they let their heart rule their mind. So they think here instead of here. So love is blind.
Heart ruling your head.
Yes, your heart.
Of course, in matters of love, it's you can't really let your head rule your heart. That would be very difficult. But yes, quite often people will say, "Oh, she's going out with that bloke. He's a bad un. He is. She's only going to have bad things with him, and she can't see it." And they'll say, "Oh, love is blind."
So love is blind. It makes fools of many people. Some people learn the hard way by being used and abused. I don't know what that. Could you explain that? What you just did? What does that mean?
I was just recalling an incident with a past lover who was very bad, and I was just pretending, really.
I told one of my neighbours the other day that I beat Steve up
as a joke, and I think she believed him
because
she went. She didn't know how to take it.
You know what? When people think things in their mind, I have this way of solving this problem. When people think things of you, I actually encourage them to think it. So even if they're mistaken, even if they are completely wrong about me, I still play as if they are right. So the other day I pretended that I actually beat Steve up.
That's a joke. So she wasn't...
Because they think I'm a bit mean. I'm a bit of a monster. But I'm not. I'm lovely. I'm so cuddly and lovely.
They've probably told the whole neighbourhood now that you're beating me up.
Yes. But it doesn't matter because I'm not. And don't say otherwise. You're right.
You couldn't beat up a spider, Mr. Duncan.
I couldn't beat my way out of a wet paper bag.
He couldn't.
I couldn't. I'm terrible in a fight. This is how I fight. If I was in a fight, this is how I'd fight.
Are you giving the game away now?
I would fight
you
like
want people to think you're tough.
I would fight like a girl. That's how I fight. I just do a lot of slapping. There's a lot of slapping taking place. Not much punching, just lots of slapping. In fact, are you okay, Steve?
Just reading the list.
I'm okay. Do you want to go over there? So another one.
We've had
For
that
goodness
one.
sake.
For goodness sake, Mr. Duncan, calm down.
Now, that is one that Steve uses a lot.
I do, yes.
He does it. When he gets frustrated about something, he always goes, "Oh, for goodness sake."
I think isn't that like saying for God's sake?
Yes. So quite often in the past, people would use God as a way of cursing or swearing. But then, of course, it became unacceptable. And so instead, people said something else. So they exchanged the word God with good. So for goodness sake.
For goodness sake, Mr. Duncan, will you stop talking for 2 minutes?
That's it. For goodness sake. Will this live stream ever end? Yes, it will. Very soon. Don't worry.
Hopefully, because I want to go to bed.
Julia says, "You guys are amazing. I don't like you. I love you." Thank you very much for that.
Oh, it's nice to be loved. But are you a good person or a bad person?
The world is your oyster.
Yes.
I like that one. That's one of my favourite expressions in the world. So the world is your oyster. The world is there for you to do what you want to do. It is there for the taking. So if you have a dream, something you want to do, something you want to experience, a place that you want to go to, something you wish to do in your life whilst you can breathe and enjoy this thing called life, then the world is your oyster.
Yes. Yes, you can use that as an expression for everyone who want to achieve something in life. Well, you can do anything. The world's your oyster.
That's it.
Or you can sometimes say it specifically, can't you? So if somebody has a specific talent, like they've got a very good voice or they're beautiful and they can be a model, and you can say, well, the world's their oyster. Because if you've got a special talent, it means that you probably will achieve the heights of your dreams, the height of your career. So it can be used to anybody to say, well, you can do anything you like because there are lots of opportunities in the world. And if you believe in something enough, you probably, and you work hard enough, you'll achieve it. Or it can be used specifically for people who have got specific talents, and you can see those talents. So if somebody goes on a talent show and they've got a wonderful voice, you can say, oh, look at that, they've got a wonderful voice, the world's their oyster. But it can be used for everybody.
So they have many opportunities ahead of them.
Yes, many opportunities.
But it also can be a very inspirational way of saying, look, go out there and get what you can. If you have something to offer the world, go out there and do it. Be an individual. Do something that you want to do. Follow your dreams, follow your path, and give your life some purpose.
If you learn English, the world's your oyster. How about that? That was quite clever.
Pedro is going now because his favourite television programme is about to start. I must admit, I feel very upset.
Insulting.
How could you say that is your favourite television show?
What is it, by the way? What are we being thrown off for? What is Pedro going to see that's better than us?
Ooh, excuse me.
Disgusting, Mr. Duncan.
Sorry about that.
Burping live on air.
I had a little burp then. I was drinking some water very quickly. Yes, Pedro's going. He's going to watch his favourite soap opera.
Soap opera?
Yes.
What's that then? What's it called? Where is Pedro?
Pedro, Brazil?
Brazil? Argentina?
Amazon. Pedro, not only am I the first time here, but I don't write often because I'm normally busy washing plates or cooking. And that comes from Julia Goulia. So Julia Goulia, thank you very much. And you don't often leave messages, so thanks a lot. Another one. Oh, here's a good one. I like this one. Wild Goose Chase. So you can see it just there. There it is on the corner there. Just see.
Oh, yes. Wild Goose Chase.
Wild Goose Chase.
Yes.
So a wild goose chase is something that occurs when people search for something or they do something to try and find something, and it is all pointless. It is fruitless. So there is no conclusion. You don't find what you're looking for. You are searching everywhere, looking everywhere, trying to find the thing that you are looking for, and you don't find it. It was just a wild goose chase.
Because presumably if you're trying to chase a goose, it would be quite difficult. You'd waste your time trying to catch a goose. So people often use that, don't they, an expression to each other. I mean, you might, I'm trying to think of an example of where you would use that.
Well, the police sometimes use it. The police, when they're searching for a criminal, and they might get lots of information that is completely useless. So the police say, well, we thought we knew where the murderer was. So we sent the police there, but then someone else said, no, he's over there, he's there. So they went there instead, but he wasn't there either. So then someone says, oh no, he's in that other town, he's gone there. So they go there, but he's not there either. So the police go on a wild goose chase. They don't find the thing they are looking for. It is just a fruitless search.
Yes, a fruitless search, and it might not be literally walking about or running about. It could be it could be used figuratively, couldn't it? For other things as well.
That's it. Yeah, yes. They just sent me on a wild goose chase. It was a pointless task.
A pointless task or task.
Yes,
as I would say.
That's it. Very good.
Are we going yet? I'm getting tired.
We're going in a minute. Don't worry, Steve. 10 minutes.
Shall I go?
Well, if you want to. I get the feeling Steve wants to go. And
I've got to go to work tomorrow.
See,
it's all right for him.
What I said, because last Sunday Steve let us all down last week because he went to see his mummy.
But I didn't let my mother down.
Did your mum like the flowers?
She did.
Ah.
She loved the flowers. And flowers use a lot of water, so she's topping them up with water to keep them alive. I think the longest she's kept flowers alive when I bought them for her is 2 weeks.
Wow.
I know.
That's amazing. So even though they were very expensive, they will probably stay looking fresh for a long time.
Yes, you just keep chopping the base of the stalk off because it gets blocked up so the water can't go up. And then you put some sugar and some vinegar in the water.
Oh.
And that keeps the flowers alive.
That's very
The
good.
vinegar kills off the bacteria that can block up the end of the stem, and the sugar gives them some energy.
So that's a good tip. If
Yes.
you want to get your flowers that you put into the vase or vase, if you want them to last longer, put the water in with a little bit of sugar and
Yes.
and vinegar.
A couple of teaspoons of sugar and a tablespoon of vinegar, and they'll last a lot longer.
Wow, very good. That's a good way to end, Steve. Okay, we will see you later.
Okay,
Steve-
lovely to be here.
Steve is going to clean his teeth and wash behind his ears.
I'm not
And-
going to do that.
And don't forget to wash in your ears as well, because Steve always forgets to wash inside his ears. And I keep telling him, if you don't do that, you will get carrots growing inside your ears. That's what my mum used to say that to me.
How ridiculous, Mr. Duncan.
What, are you saying that my mother is ridiculous?
No, the carrots growing out of your ear is ridiculous.
Well, that information came from my mother, and she's never wrong.
I'm afraid she is.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you very much, and nice to be here. We must have been on for how long? An hour? Am I going to go this way?
Yes.
Shall I vanish into thin air?
Well, you can climb out the window if you want. There's a window there.
Oh,
You can-
bye.
if you want to leave by the window.
Now, am I here on Sunday?
Yes,
Good. I shall see you all on Sunday.
definitely.
Ta-ta for now.
So there he goes. Mr. Steve has left the room. He has gone upstairs to clean his teeth and wash his ears. Don't forget, you have to wash inside your ears as well, or else you get carrots growing inside. That's what my mother used to say anyway. Is anyone still on the live chat? We will have a couple of more of the Shakespearean quotes that we use nowadays in modern English. How about bated breath? If you wait with bated breath, it means you wait and you hold your breath. You hold your breath whilst waiting for something to happen. So you wait for it to happen. Bated breath. Good night, Mr. Steve, says Jamelia. Yes, Mr. Steve has gone now. He has to get his beauty sleep. I'm saying nothing. Julia, yes, I can speak Russian and write in Russian. Are you sorry, Mr. Duncan? We make conversation behind your back. No, Julia, it's great. I love the fact that people are sharing their experiences in the live chat. And also, don't forget, the live chat will be saved. So when you watch this live stream later as a recording, yes, the live chat will also be there. It is a great new feature that YouTube has introduced, and I love it. I love it a lot. Let's have one more, and then I will wrap up. Laughing stock. Laughing stock. Now, that was actually a mystery idiom a few weeks ago. Laughing stock. If someone is the laughing stock, it means lots of people around are making fun of that particular person. They are seen as foolish by many people. So that person is the laughing stock. The laughing stock. So that person has been trapped by their stupidity. They have become the laughing stock. I think we will leave it there because we are now coming up towards midnight. We are approaching the midnight hour. Yes, it's true. You can see all of the Shakespeare quotes there. So there they are on the screen. And I will see you on Sunday. I hope you've enjoyed this very long, late and live stream. My legs are actually going to sleep. I've been standing here for nearly 2 hours. Can you believe it? So here we go. It's time to say goodbye. It is time to see you at another time another place, maybe in the future, maybe in the past. Who knows? I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are not feeling too tired, and maybe just in case it is the start of your day, I hope you have a super day. I will see you on Sunday. We are talking about lots of things. I think we're going to talk about rules, breaking the rules, and getting into trouble with the police. Yes, that's what we are going to be talking about on Sunday. So I hope you will join me from 2 p.m. UK time for another live English stream. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English, saying thanks for watching me, talking to you. Good night to Anna, good night to Julia, Aurora, Rosa, Mayhem. Good night to everyone on the live chat. Don't forget, you can watch the live chat later, and also hopefully there will be subtitles underneath the video at the bottom. The playlists for my video lessons are available underneath the video as well. So if you look underneath, all of the playlists for my lessons are available there. That's it. It's time to go. We are approaching midnight and it's time for Mr. Duncan to go to bed. That's me. So I will see you on Sunday, and of course you know what is coming next. Yes, you do. Just before I vanish into thin air. Ta-ta for now.